Welcome to the Trails radio show. Today I have a very special guest, actor and voice actor, Mr. Tony Amendola. Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Okay, I have a few questions. You think you could handle them?
Well, we'll see.
Okay. My first question is, how did you get started in acting? Were your parents actors, or did you just were interested in theater when you were a child, or how did you become an actor?
Well, everyone starts in a different way. There are many people who start very young, or the parents are involved. With me, that wasn't true. I started in college. I think the first one I ever did was in college. And, it was really sort of more of a social sort of event, and only gradually did I begin to understand that it could be something more for me. And after that, when I made that realization, which would have been about, 2 or 3 years into college, I then, thought and played with the notion of possibly doing it, as a career, and, foolishly not really thinking that it would be difficult or anything like that. But, you just get lucky sometimes.
Yes. You still do theater work to this day?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm doing a play right now. That's why I have to, at the end of the interview, I'll head off. And, I'm in Los Angeles doing a production of As You Like It, which is a Shakespeare play with a company I belong to called the Antaeus Company.
I've heard of that theater company. Oh, good.
Yeah, it's got a lot of, for people that are into genre work, sci-fi and fantasy and other things, we have quite a number of people who have done a fair amount of that. So, we have Armin Shimmerman, we have Linda Parr, and it goes on and on. There are Andy Robinson was a member as well, and so there are a lot of people.
Let's talk about some of the productions you've been in. You've in television and film. You're most notably recognizable for SG-1, Stargate. And
Yeah. That was, it's funny. You go in and you do a job. You have no idea. It's like a chance meeting.
Yeah.
You have no idea that when you're going and doing a job, that all of a sudden it's going to oddly be something that you're associated with, or it's going to change your life in some ways. And certainly SG-1, among genre work, sci-fi, fantasy, and everything. I mean, that's the one. And it's been wonderful, because I had a chance to be on it on and off for 10 years. So I really got to know some of the people. As a matter of fact, just recently I was in Vancouver, and I was working on a new show a fairly new show called Dirk Gently, a holistic detective. And one of the producers, the executive producer of that, is Robert Cooper, who, for the people that know Stargate, will recognize his name from that franchise. So it was wonderful to see him again and to just reminisce and stuff.
Yeah, it's I've talked to a lot of actors, and they go into projects and they say they don't really know the project they'll be involved with. Sometimes it could be a huge success. They don't know that it's just a job for them. In some cases, like SG-1, it becomes a great success, like it is.
Yeah, exactly. You never know, and a lot of it has to do with a good writing and a good idea, obviously with SG-1, and occasionally it also has to do with timing. I'll give you an example. I did, before Buffy hit, maybe about 3 or 4 years or something, before Buffy hit, there was a show called The Kindred, which was a wonderful show. But it just wasn't the right time for it, and it was so much fun to see 5 years later or whenever Buffy just exploded. So but we never really know. You come on and you do your job and you try to have a good time and work on something, and then you just hope it will have legs, but you never really know if that's the case.
Yes. And how did you get involved with SG-1 Stargate? If you could tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it was like any other audition. I sort of was vaguely familiar with the movie, the original movie, which I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
But I had just finished doing Zorro in Mexico, and I was out for a fair amount of time, like 4 months. Mm-hmm. And so when I got back, Stargate was the first audition, and the only thing, to be honest, the thing that struck me the most about it was that it was shooting in Vancouver, which is a place that I had visited before, my wife and I, and we really, really loved it. So all I was thinking about was, I could work in Vancouver and we could have a nice time. And lo and behold, it worked out, and I've been to Vancouver, probably 50 times now to work.
Yes. And some other works you have done, some of your recent projects you were on Once Upon a Time, Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, and that, again, was shot in Vancouver, that's sort of, they're doing a reboot in the 7th season, so, I was involved in the first 6 seasons on and off, playing Geppetto, and that was, great fun because the writing was very, very interesting. It's sort of about fairy tales, but not really, because it really deals with the prequels, the sequels to the fairy tales, and I had a great time. So we'll see where it goes. Now, as I say, they're rebooting it, and I have no idea if... I suspect that a lot of the people that are involved have been involved in the past. They may not be as involved. Some of them will be, but because of this new idea.
Yeah, and I love that show. It's a great show, and I've seen a lot of your work. Some other work, you've done a lot of voice work as well in video games, Fallout 4, and many other video game works.
Yeah, it's funny. I really, video games are fairly new to me. I've only really been involved maybe 4 years or so, and I've just been very, very fortunate to get some really interesting ones. I did, as you said, Fallout. I do World of Warcraft. I did Call of Duty, one of their things, and even an odd one that I just did not too long ago that was very interesting because it's so atypical. It's called Walden, and it's based on, of course, Thoreau's Walden Pond. So it was very, very interesting, to do that. And I also did Castlevania, which is on Netflix right now. They did. This is the animated series, not the game. Yeah. And that was, it's terrific fun, and I'm having a good time. The people are lovely, and you don't have to comb your hair to go to work.
So people would characterize you as a character actor, not a leading actor, mostly a character actor.
Yeah, I'm more of a character actor. That's really in the hands of. It's out of the actor's hands because it has to do. Leading men are generally associated with with a certain way, a certain look. Yeah. They may be tall, they may be thin, they may be handsome, they may be, whatever. And if you don't fit that, then you, as an actor, you just accept that and move on. So I would say I'm definitely a character actor in film and television. In the theater, they have something that's sort of interesting. It's called a character lead, which is not a leading man. He's not, the hunk. He's not, but it means they can carry a play or carry a movie. You see it sometimes even in films with older actors and actresses. So there is something, in addition to leading man or character actor, there is something called character lead. So occasionally I'll do that, but I just love to work. And acting is very schizophrenic, meaning that one day you get a job that lasts 4 months, and as soon as you're back, you get a job that lasts 2 days. So you have to just commit and just trust and do the work that's in front of you.
Yeah, you have to just focus on the right project. You can't really just focus on what you're doing at the moment. And in theater, that's kind of important, in theater productions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Theater's different because you're having to do it from beginning to end every night, or 8 times a week, depending on the schedule. And that makes different requirements of the actors.
Yeah, in theater, and you can't really mess up in theater because you're right in front of an audience. You can't mess up either.
Yeah, or you have to be very good at covering it because you will mess up, but you don't stop and reshoot it. Yes. Have you done theater?
A little bit. I haven't really. I want to be an actor when I grow up. I'm 16. I've been doing my radio show.
Uh-huh.
Been doing my radio show for about 4 years and been talking to actors like yourself and many others and just get their input on...
Yeah, you just had Jay Brazzo on, right? You just had Jay Brazzo on, you told me.
I'll be having him on in a couple of days.
Yeah, he's a lovely man and a good actor.
Yeah, I've been interviewing a lot of stage actors and character actors from, as you said, Canada and the United States. So it's been fun.
Right.
It's been fun.
Good.
So, what was your most challenging acting role you ever had have to do? Was it in theater or film? Most challenging, if you had a challenging role?
Probably, I would say, it was in theater when all of a sudden you're doing King Lear. That's certainly a lot more to lift up every day than it is to do, some of the television shows where you do it incrementally and in small pieces, 3 or 4 pages a day, to all of a sudden, have to lift this play and carry it for a while. But it's also very satisfying. It's not just the work. I mean, most actors would prefer, a kind of hard work that will lead to exhaustion. Most actors get into trouble when they get bored or are not working.
Yeah.
So challenge is something we hope for. We don't run away from. So.
Yeah. And I find that theater actors, they get more, I guess, enjoyment out of it because it's more thrilling to them, I guess. And
well, yeah, there's some truth to that in that you get more excitement and satisfaction because you're playing